Hey guys, Calm here. I know I'm supposed to be bringing you guys a new video about Trump, and I will. It's coming later this week, hopefully. But I saw a video that I really wanted to cover. It's about racism slash reverse racism, and it annoyed me so much that I had to make a video on this before I finished my Trump video. So let's talk about this.
Nearly half of Americans believe discrimination against white people is as big a problem as discrimination against people of color. Some people call this reverse racism.
And the people who call this reverse racism are retarded. I believe there is a thing called reverse racism, and I think it's a totally different thing than what you are going to be explaining what reverse racism is. But what you think reverse racism is simply racism.
But here's the thing. If racism were reversed, that would mean racism wouldn't exist in the first place.
So I've watched this video, and they make no explanation into this claim. What do you mean it wouldn't exist? I would like for them to explain that more in depth.
And by calling discrimination against white people reverse racism, you're also acknowledging the power dynamic and saying that white people are the primary upholders of racism, which actually is true. That can't be reversed unless hundreds of years of systemic oppression are erased. White people can experience prejudice and discrimination from people of color, but they do not experience racism.
So as you might have been able to guess, they are conflating systemic racism with regular racism. And even if they weren't, they are making another claim without evidence or reason to back up that claim. They are simply stating that just because at one point black people were oppressed, they can never be racist, which is a very crazy remark to think.
Let's break that down.
Finally, they give some reasons behind what they are saying. I don't agree with them, but let's hear their reasons out.
Racial prejudice typically starts with the belief in stereotypes about groups of people.
Okay, nothing too harmless there.
Racial discrimination is all about actions and unfair treatment based on prejudice.
Again, another term I don't have a problem with.
And racism is a form of discrimination based on skin color and ethnic origin. It's kept alive through power and institutional reinforcement.
So by their own definition, black people can be racist because all of those things black people can do.
In the United States, prejudice towards people of color is still supported by our most powerful institutions, which means racism is still very much alive.
Again, another claim without evidence or backing up of any sort. I don't know if you're seeing a pattern here, but they do this a lot. Make a claim and expect you just to agree with it. I don't know exactly what evidence you are using to come to your conclusion. I want to see this so I can understand where you're coming from, and I can either agree with you or disagree with you on the basis of those evidence.
And it didn't magically disappear because we have a black president.
Anybody who claims that racism disappeared because we had a black president is wrong. However, because we had a black president, it signifies that racism is not as prevalent in our society as it used to be, because a large majority of our society is okay with having a person of color or hopefully any religion be the leader of our country. However, I know lots of people do care about the religion more than the ethnicity, but that's a different topic.
Black people, for example, experienced 250 years of slavery in the United States and 100 years of legalized discrimination with black codes and Jim Crow. In the years to follow, legal discrimination still continued in the form of housing discrimination, job discrimination, no positive representation on television, the war on drugs, mass incarceration, the school-to-prison pipeline, stop and frisk, and so much more.
This video is so misleading because it makes it seem like people of color are so discriminated against all the time when nobody's doing anything about it. But we have lots of things. There's things like affirmative action to try to help get more people into positions in work. There's scholarships that are meant just for people of color. And as far as not enough positive role models on the TV, there's tons. In fact, probably the most important role model, which is basically the leader of the science community, the figurehead of the science community, I should say, is Neil deGrasse Tyson. There should be nobody else. That is the guy you should idealize. He is a brilliant guy. He's always out there talking about science and the beautifulness of it. He's got TV shows. He's on talks. He he is what everybody should be, not just black people, but white people. Everybody should be striving to achieve that amount of success.
So when things like affirmative action, BET, and Black Lives Matter pop up, these things are there in an effort to level the playing field, not to tip the scale the other way.
I truly believe that the people who are part of these organizations do believe that they are there to try to balance the playing field. But it doesn't work. They are not helping. They are hurting. They are making people think that people think this way. They're acting terrible and expecting good results from it.
If white people experienced racism, they would have to undergo hundreds of years of legal oppression, just like people of color still do.
This makes no sense. 2 reasons. 1, why would white people have to go through that? And 2, your own definition about what racism is. White people can be the victims of racism. Your definition, which I am now putting up on the screen, clearly states that white people can be discriminated against because of their race.
White people can experience discrimination in many ways, and it's not okay. But racism just isn't one of them.
So I don't know if this was their intention, but they clearly make it seem like they can be discriminated for being gay, handicapped, or their religion, but they can't be discriminated because of their race. So I don't know if they're saying that white people can't be racist towards white people, or if that's just how their animation looks. But, this video is so annoying. So that's the end of my video. I know it's a little bit ranty. I really didn't like this video so much. I like my video that I'm making about it, but I didn't like their video so much. It drove me so mad that I had to make this video even though I am not feeling well. So that's the end. I'm sorry that was such ranty, but if you could, like, share, and subscribe, and tell me what you think about this. I always like to hear from you guys. Bye.